Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first journey through time to explore how the way we listen to music has changed. From vinyl records to modern digital platforms, music, a universal language, has evolved significantly over the years, influencing the lives of millions of people around the world. Chapter 1: Invention of the Phonograph. The phonograph, invented by Thomas Edison in 1877, was the first device capable of recording and playing back sound, marking the beginning of a technological revolution in the music industry. Before its invention, music and sounds were fleeting, only experienced live, which greatly limited access to music. The phonograph changed this by allowing sounds to be recorded onto wax-coated cylinders that, when spun under the action of a needle, reproduced the original recording. Although Edison's first phonograph was rudimentary and produced low sound quality, it demonstrated that it was possible to capture and reproduce the human voice and other sounds. The phonograph quickly evolved over the following decades, with significant improvements in its design and functionality. Early models used wax cylinders that had very limited capacity and wore out quickly with use. However, as technology improved, more durable cylinders were developed, and eventually, flat discs were introduced, which would become the foundation for Emil Berliner's gramophone. Unlike Edison's cylinder phonograph, the gramophone used shellac discs, which were easier to manufacture and distribute, helping to popularize the device by the late 19th century. The phonograph's impact on society was immense. For the first time, people could enjoy music in their homes without needing a live musician. This democratized access to music, allowing families from all social classes to experience musical pieces that were previously only available in theaters or concert halls. Moreover, the phonograph transformed the entertainment industry, leading to the commercialization of recorded music. Record companies began to emerge to produce and sell discs, and artists could reach a much wider audience than live performances allowed. Throughout the 20th century, while the original phonograph was replaced by newer technologies like the gramophone, turntables, and eventually digital players, its legacy remains strong. It laid the foundation for the recorded music industry and allowed music and other forms of entertainment to become an integral part of daily life. The concept of recording and playing back sound paved the way for an era where music was no longer fleeting, but something that could be preserved, shared, and enjoyed repeatedly, forever changing the relationship between humans and sound. Chapter 2: The Turntable and Early Vinyl Records. In the 1940s, vinyl records emerged as a revolutionary innovation. The sound quality of a turntable is often described as warm and rich, characteristics that many enthusiasts appreciate over modern digital formats. Vinyl records capture sound nuances that are often lost in digital conversions, providing a listening experience that is both nostalgic and authentic. The sound experience is more organic due to the complexities of analog waves, allowing for a more faithful representation of how the music actually sounds during a studio recording. Listening to music on a turntable is a ritual in itself, going beyond simply pressing a button to play a song. From selecting an LP from the collection to carefully placing the needle on the record, each step contributes to a deeper connection with the music. This process fosters an attentive listening environment where every note and silence is absorbed and appreciated, often leading listeners to enjoy entire albums rather than individual tracks. The introduction of turntables and vinyl records significantly changed how people consumed music, allowing, for the first time, the possibility of enjoying high-quality recordings in the comfort of home. Before vinyl, live music was the primary way to experience musical performances. Access to records gave rise to the creation of personal music collections, and also fostered a culture around collecting and exchanging music. Moreover, the LP format allowed artists to offer complete auditory experiences, leading to the creation of the concept album where each song was intended to be part of a larger work. This had an impact not only on musicians' creativity, but also on how listeners approach their music consumption, elevating the album to something more than just a collection of individual songs, but a complete artistic journey. Chapter 3. Tapes and Cassettes. Over time, the desire for portability led to the invention of tapes and cassettes in the 1960s and 1970s. The popularization of 8-track and cassette formats represented a radical shift in how people accessed music. The 8-track cartridge, initially released in 1965, allowed continuous music playback in cars, breaking the spatial and mobility limitations imposed by turntables. This development marked an important habit change by moving music from the home to the car, allowing listeners to enjoy their favorite songs while traveling. Cassettes, introduced commercially in 1963, offered even more flexibility, being smaller and more portable compared to records and 8-track cartridges. With their arrival, music became more accessible and personal. Cassette recorders allowed users to create personalized mixtapes, fostering a new culture of music sharing and customization. For the first time, listeners could record from the radio or copy entire albums, democratizing music distribution. This new level of accessibility had a significant impact on the music industry. Cassettes and 8-tracks extended the life cycle of recorded music beyond record stores, becoming a constant source of revenue for artists and record labels, especially through sales in car dealerships and electronics stores. Additionally, the mixtape phenomenon allowed independent artists and small labels to find their audiences in new ways. With these innovations came challenges, especially regarding piracy, which grew with the ease of duplication offered by cassettes. However, this format democratized music consumption and sharing, sparking a revolution in mass music culture and paving the way for future advances in music playback technology, greatly influencing how we relate to music today. Chapter 4. The Compact Disc Era. The 1980s saw the birth of the CD, an innovation that offered digital sound and durability. The mass adoption of compact discs in the 1980s marked a turning point in how music was distributed and consumed. Initially developed by Philips and Sony, CDs offered a revolutionary alternative to vinyl and tapes by providing greater durability and portability. This allowed consumers to take music to more places and in better condition without worrying about scratches or the wear common to other formats. As CD players began to drop in price, CDs became the preferred choice for both users and record labels, accelerating their adoption worldwide. The main advantage of the CD over previous formats was the significant improvement in sound quality. As a digital format, it allowed for much more faithful playback without the background noise associated with vinyl records or tapes. The ability to store up to 74 minutes of music with a resolution of 16 bits and a sample rate of 44.1 kilohertz provided a clearer, more precise listening experience. This led to a shift in listeners' expectations about how music should sound, which directly influenced how sound engineers and producers approached mixing and mastering albums. The impact on the recording industry was monumental. With the CD, record companies found a new revenue stream in reissuing classic albums in this new format, allowing older generations to rediscover their favorite music with superior quality. Additionally, CDs were better protected against home copying, giving record companies more control over distribution, which increased profit margins. Large marketing campaigns around CD players and remastered collections helped revitalize the industry at a time when the rise of piracy was starting to cause concern. However, the transition to digital also brought new challenges. While the early years of the CD represented a golden era for the music industry, the digitization it enabled laid the groundwork for the eventual disruption caused by downloads and streaming in the following decades. Although compact discs dominated the music market for nearly 2 decades, the ease with which digital music could be shared online changed the power structure in the industry. Still, the CD remains a key part of the evolution of music consumption, with a legacy that extends far beyond its commercial life cycle. Chapter 5. The Transition to Digital. In the late 90s and early 2000s, we began to see a shift towards digital formats with the rise of services like Napster and the popularization of MP3s. The decline of physical formats such as compact discs, vinyl, and cassettes accelerated in the early 2000s with the growing digitization of music. Digital downloads and the rise of file-sharing platforms like Napster allowed users to access music faster, more cheaply, and more conveniently. dealing a severe blow to record sales. Instead of buying entire albums, users could select individual songs to download or eventually stream through services. This transformation in consumer behavior quickly eroded the relevance of physical formats as the primary means of listening to music. The impact of this digital shift on the music industry was profound. Revenues from physical sales began to plummet, directly affecting record labels that had based their business model on selling tangible products for decades. This change forced companies to rethink their strategies, as the profits generated from digital downloads and streaming were significantly lower compared to those obtained from selling compact discs and vinyl records. Music stores also suffered. Many closed their doors as consumers preferred to buy and listen to music from their electronic devices, eliminating the need to purchase physical products. Artistically, digitalization brought a change in how music was created and consumed. With access to platforms like iTunes or Spotify, the concept of the album as a unified work began to fade, and the emphasis shifted to singles and personalized playlists. Artists no longer depended solely on major labels to distribute their music. They could release their own albums or songs through digital platforms, democratizing access to the market. While this opened new opportunities for independent musicians, it also increased competition, making it harder to stand out among the flood of content. Streaming, in particular, has radically changed the rules of the game. Services like Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube offer unlimited access to vast music libraries for a monthly fee or through free subscription models supported by ads. This has led to a shift in the way music is monetized, with artists and labels receiving a percentage of revenue based on the number of times a song is played, rather than by physical unit sales. While this has given users greater flexibility and accessibility, it has also sparked debates about how artists are compensated, as the pay-per-stream model often generates far lower returns than physical sales. Chapter 6: Streaming and Digital Platforms. Today, music streaming dominates the market, with platforms like Spotify, Pandora, Apple Music, and YouTube leading the charge. Streaming has brought numerous benefits for both consumers and the music industry in general. First, it has enabled virtually unlimited access to vast libraries of music worldwide. Platforms like Pandora and Spotify, the latter regarded as offering the highest sound quality among all platforms today, have removed geographic and economic barriers, allowing listeners to enjoy music from anywhere in the world as long as they have an internet connection. Users no longer need to buy individual albums or tracks, but can access a vast variety of music for a monthly fee, or even for free in exchange for watching or listening to ads. One of the most positive impacts of streaming has been the democratization of access to music for both listeners and artists. Previously, musicians depended on major record labels and costly production and distribution processes to reach a large audience. Today, any artist can upload their music to platforms like SoundCloud or Spotify, potentially reaching millions of listeners without the need for intermediaries. This has lowered the market entry barrier, allowing independent or emerging musicians to build successful careers without the backing of a large record company. Additionally, the globalization of streaming has allowed artists from different cultures and languages to reach audiences that were previously hard to access. For consumers, streaming has also transformed how they discover and listen to music. Personalized recommendations based on algorithms that analyze preferences and listening habits allow users to discover new music more efficiently than ever. This has encouraged greater musical diversity in consumption, as users are constantly exposed to genres, artists, and styles they might not have otherwise encountered. Collaborative and shared playlists have also created new forms of social interaction through music, enabling users to curate sound experiences tailored to their moods and needs. However, this new paradigm has brought both positive and negative implications for artists. On the one hand, streaming allows them to gain global visibility, something previously reserved for only a few. Direct earnings per stream are often significantly lower than physical sales or even digital downloads, leading some musicians to question the fairness of the revenue distribution model. For many artists, streaming has made them more dependent on live performances, merchandise sales, or sponsorships to maintain a sustainable career, as streaming revenue alone is not always sufficient. Despite these challenges, streaming has been a catalyst for change in the industry. transforming access to music and the way it is valued and distributed. Conclusion: the future of music. As technology continues to advance, the way we consume music will keep transforming. What does the future hold for us? Music as an art form has proven to be incredibly adaptable to technological progress, and it is likely to keep evolving in the future. With the rise of technologies like artificial intelligence, augmented reality, and virtual reality, we can expect new forms of interaction between artists and listeners. AI is already being used to compose music and further personalize listening experiences, while augmented and virtual reality could transform concerts into fully immersive experiences where users not only listen but also interact with the music in digital spaces. Additionally, blockchain technology could offer more transparent and fair models of income distribution, ensuring that artists receive more equitable compensation for their work. Throughout the centuries, music has proven to be much more than just entertainment. It's a cultural and emotional expression deeply rooted in our lives. As we move toward an increasingly digital future, the place of music in our lives will not disappear but rather adapt to these new formats and possibilities. Access to music will continue to grow, and even as formats and technologies change, the role of music as a tool for connection, emotion, and communication will remain central. Ultimately, music will continue to reflect human diversity and creative spirit, reminding us that no matter how we consume it, it remains one of the most powerful forms of artistic expression and interpersonal connection. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell so you stay updated on future uploads. Hit the like button and share it. By doing this, you'll help grow the channel and distribute the content to more people through YouTube. Thanks everyone, and blessings. See you in the next video.